okay? And it has two sounds, two different sounds. Sometimes they look different. Sometimes it's just two sticks of slightly different sizes. This one's made out of bamboo. Sometimes they're made out of wood.
So these are the two sounds?
Yep. Two different sounds.
That's the third one.
You're playing it wrong.
And the fourth. Okay.
You're playing it wrong. This is a completely different kind.
This I would say, you know, the early form of Chinese version.
Opera.
Yeah, Chinese version of rap.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, on the stage for the traditional Chinese operas, you will see performers doing the rap in the Chinese way. Basically, it's not singing, but it's telling a story.
That's a good point.
It's speaking.
That's exactly right. The next two, these are very similar instruments. And the Western name for this type of instrument is tambourine.
Tambourine.
Tambourine. This one here is a beautiful painting, hand-painted from Xinjiang.
From Xinjiang.
Xinjiang shogu. And gu is drum.
Hand drum.
And this is ningu. Okay, so most tambourines are round, but they don't have to be. Most tambourines have a drum head, but it doesn't have to.
That's right.
And most tambourines have some kind of metal that has a different type of metal on the back. And you can hit it. You can hit it against part of your body, or you can shake it. You can shake it. There was a very famous Western musician, a drummer actually, his name was Phil Collins, who just retired. And he was known to say that in rhythm and blues, that this is the most important instrument in Western American rhythm and blues. Now, sitting right in front of you,
this is the one?
Yeah, they look like bells.
Little bells?
But if you look inside, there's no clapper.
Yeah,
so if you shake the bell, nothing will happen.
So basically, you need the two to play with each other.
It's called pongling, and they're very small, made out of metal.
Do you need two hands or just one hand?
You can control it if you have two hands.
Okay.
Two hands means you can consciously hit or stop.
You demonstrate how to use it.
Okay.
And where is this from? Which part of the country?
I don't know.
Good.
I think it's
at least there's one question you don't know. I mean, it is just bizarre. We're talking about Chinese musical instruments, and basically it's Mark telling us all these stories.
Yes.
Wuhan, you should tell us more.
I just brought a sample. She'll tell some too. Let me go on to another category.
Yeah, sure.
All right, several of the instruments we brought today have strings. And stringed instruments fall into two categories. One are called plucked instruments.
That's the plucked.
Now, I know you're quite experienced playing guitar.
Come on.
All right, so guitars are plucked. That means you use your hand, you go something like this or strum.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I mean, it looks like, you know, a twisted version of guitar. It sounds like a guitar.
It's got a slightly different sound. This is four strings. There's sometimes in the West, it's not a familiar instrument to people in the West, but people often will call it a moon guitar. Okay, it falls into the general category of an instrument called lute. Okay, this is a run and has four strings. What you have there is most commonly found in Xinjiang province in China.
Again, in Xinjiang, in northwest China?
It's an instrument that's very commonly played by the Kazakh people. Sometimes there's only one very long string, and it starts over here and it wraps around the end.
So it could be just one string.
I don't know if that one is or not.
And so what is the sound like in the proper way?
Okay.
That one.
All right, this one. Well, I don't play it the proper way. I play it like a Western instrument.
No, you're the professional here now.
Let me sing you a song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. How much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine.
Chinese instrument, but you know, basically international music.
This is played. It requires some kind of artificial fingernail. They're called picks or plectrums. Usually, what the run is played with is a triangular pick. I don't use that. I use this on my thumb.
Right.
This is a Western
this is your own
thumb
version.
pick.
This is supposed to be the proper way to play it.
This has no pick. You play it with hand. The basic idea is proper.
Right.
All right. And this is mostly fingers. You have the two strings.
You go ahead.
other category of stringed instruments are bowed instruments.
So you're going to tell us more about that one.
So that's her job.
Erhu has 2 strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 is Er in Chinese. That's why we call it Erhu. So Erhu is kind of violin, which together with Zhonghu, Gaohu, Banghu, Jinghu belongs to the Huqin family of instruments. But Erhu is different from violin because the string bow runs between the 2 strings. Here.
So it's different pitches.
The bow string runs between.
Right, and what is special is about this one, the material for this one. What is this?
That's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
There are 2 different kinds of animals material and 2 different kinds of plants material. Now I need you guys to tell me.
I know, I do know about that.
Really?
I do know about that. I mean, that's basically the snake skin.
Snake skin.
And this is the horse tail.
What about this?
That's right.
That one? It's wood. You tell me. You tell me, yeah?
It's purple bamboo.
Ah, it's bamboo.
Yeah.
Purple bamboo.
Purple like the park.
It has to be purple bamboo.
Let me show you a little bit of what
just show us some sounds.
Like.
Horse racing, right?
That's right.
It's a very, very famous Chinese melody, Chinese string.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go.
There is a famous blind folk musician called Abing, and he composed a famous Erhu song called Moon Reflected on the Second Spring.
Well, we wish you could have long time, but you know, basically maybe that is the part that we can show in this program. But I guess viewers, you would feel sadness in this tune, moonlight reflected in the spring, in the pond.
Yeah.
What about these?
Okay. Last category. Last category are wind instruments. You have to blow. This is an ensemble. I got this. It's a print of a painting from Suzhou.
Yep.
That I bought many years ago. And this one shows the instrument Fu Han has. It's a bamboo flute. It's called xiao. And over here, there's a different kind of bamboo flute called dizi.
But it should be shorter or slimmer?
Yeah, it's shorter, but and it's also
longer.
It's called a transverse flute. It's played crosswise instead of down the end. This is the most common of all of the Chinese wind instruments.
Do you know how to play xiao dan?
Show us.
Me, huh?
Yeah.
Amateur. Show us.
This is your show.
Let's take a short break and we'll be right back. Indeed, a short break.
你好，我哋係索償代理。
只要你係意外受傷，我哋可以幫你追討㗎。
我哋幫你揾律師，你唔使出錢，我哋不成功不收費。
你唔夠錢使，我哋仲可以借埋錢俾你添。
千祈唔好信佢哋啊！佢哋嘅收費就關乎我應得嘅賠償。咁嘅行為根據香港法例，可能構成助訟或包攬訴訟等刑事罪行，可能判罰款同監禁7年添。我哋揾有關政府部門或執業律師幫手啦。
And welcome back to Crossover. I still haven't worked out how to make a sound with this thing.
I can save you some embarrassment. We'll go on to another instrument.
Okay, please, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now, what we have here, this is the, I have two of these. These are called a xun And this is the oldest. This, there are some records that say it goes back 8,000 years.
That's true. That's true.
All right, and it's also a flute. It's called a vessel flute. It's made out of clay. It usually has an egg shape, and it has a flat bottom, so it can stand.
Yeah, so basically I want to show you, we have 4 or 6 holes over here, and 2 holes in the back.
Yes.
And the big one where you can, you know, blow your air into.
Yeah, many of them are, this has a beautiful decoration. This is a phoenix.
Okay.
And let's see.
It's pretty heavy though.
Yeah, this is a heavy one. That's a smaller, lighter one. And we go. I can get 2 sounds out of it. You want to try?
Well, I've tried actually before the show.
But you did better than you did on the flute.
Thank you.
This big one is deeper than this one.
Yeah.
Sounds.
Yeah, the sound, the larger, the deeper the sound. Okay. This is called a sona. All right. And every description, this is wood, and this is metal. It's like a trumpet. And every and it has sound holes, just like the flute. It's a very, very difficult instrument to get any sound out of. So I'm going to try. This doesn't have a mouthpiece. It has double reed. This is like the Western oboe. Here we go.
Well, fantastic!
I can do it.
I don't think you can, but I'm willing to let you try.
It is a very difficult instrument. Just
But
make
you
sure
guys
that,
can't look at me.
You don't hurt yourself. Yeah?
You guys can't look at me.
What? Secret?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Just turn around. Just turn around.
That's great. That's
Just
good.
turn around.
We
do have a camera over there, so you're not hiding from
Let's see
anyone.
what's going on. Show us how to do that.
Yeah.
You want me to teach
It's
you?
not the
Show us how to do
instrument.
it. Just show us
With
how
or
to
without
do
the
it.
instrument, it's
You
the
want me
same
to teach
sound,
you?
though.
Just show us how to do
Okay,
that.
let me show you how to do that.
Oh, boo.
No. This is basically a very major instrument in all these folk music bands, and you would even see this in one of the rock and roll bands. One of the rock and roll musicians, Cui Jian,
really?
he uses this a lot. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, my 4th and final wind instrument.
This is hulusi, the gourd.
Hulusa, the hulu is the gourd, and they have between 1 and 4 bamboo pipes. The center pipe is really the pipe you're playing. The other pipes are called drones.
This is very much popular in southwest China's Yunnan province.
It's instrument from the Dai people.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're visiting Lijiang or other places in Yunnan, you just come across lots of people trying to sell you this, and they promised teach you how to play this, and I was promised that promise, and in 2 minutes I kind of managed to learn a little bit.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what you learn. Let's see what you learn. I'll let you do it.
Anyway, this is not the first embarrassment that I have for this program.
That's right.
I'll just try it again. I'll just do it again.
It's both.
Yes, I made it!
Very good.
What's the song?
Sohan can play it pretty good.
You
got
do?
a minute. Why don't we give her a chance? See, she's really playing it. You'll notice she's really playing it. Very good. That was real. She had her mouth around it.
Wow. This is the sound made out of this, not yourself,
That's right. That's right.
Talking about Chinese music, it seems there is the trend that it's been introduced also to the international audience. Because not long ago, actually, starting from a few years ago, it became an annual event to have a concert of Chinese music in Vienna, in that world-famous Golden Hall.
Right.
We have a little video to share with you.
Oh, great.
Take a look. As you can see, I mean, Chinese conductor playing, well, these musicians are actually not Chinese, but they're playing Chinese music. This is called the Overture to the Spring Festival. And also, around that period, one of the famous Chinese singers called Song Zuying, she had a concert in the United States. Let's just take a look.
She speaks more English than I realized.
Well, that is actually the first time that I saw that song being sung in this way and inviting people, because it's supposed to be someone standing up, say, I'll help you pass the river, you know. But basically this shows, you know, Chinese music being performed in other countries. How is it received according to your impression?
Well, let me tell a couple of stories here, actually. Before I came to China, the only Chinese singer I knew of was Song Zuying. I had several friends who had visited China, and the first one was, I think, in like 2003. And when she came back, she brought back a DVD of Song Zuying.
Okay.
And I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it many times. And so I just fell in love with the music. She's very beautiful. And I fell in love with the music. Let me show you a postcard here. This is a picture. This is a show that I had where I performed in a park here in Beijing. This is me with the guitar, and this is Fu Han with the erhu. I recently went to the United States, and I saw many family and friends who I hadn't seen in years. I saw one couple who was an old friend of my parents. And I'm showing them this postcard. And the man, they're in their 80s and 90s, and the man looks at this and he says, "What is that instrument?" And I said, "It's called an erhu." And his wife suddenly looks up and says, "We went to China in the early 90s. We bought one of those. We have one." All right, now, what's the lesson here? They didn't buy it to play. They didn't buy it to learn how to play because they had a relative. They bought it because it was just so different. And it was China.
And what is your impression of Chinese music? How is it received by, you know, foreigners?
Chinese folk music includes traditional Chinese music, Chinese ethnic group music, and the Chinese music played using Chinese instruments. We just saw the video Song Zuying singing Dragon Boat tune. The Dragon Boat tune is a Hubei folk song. And by her dress, you can tell it might be from Miao minority or Tujia minority. So especially this song using the Hubei language, one of the languages in Hubei province. So it's a Chinese ethnic music.
And music is a big part of the culture. So I have this collection of instruments. Some of them I play a little bit, some of them I play more, some I don't play at all. But they all have stories about them. They come from different periods in history. I've learned various things about Chinese history and what things were like by studying the instruments.
Okay, we'll talk about that and actually those stories after a short break. You're watching Crossover. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Crossover. As you can see, we're talking about traditional Chinese music or Chinese folk music or original Chinese music with all these traditional musical instruments in China. And do you think Chinese music should be played with the help, say, with Western instruments? Or maybe with the modern electronic music instruments?
Well, I play some Chinese songs using a guitar. And some people play Western songs using Chinese instruments. And on occasion, I showed you this picture of Fu Han playing the erhu and me playing the guitar.
This is Chinese instrument and together with the guitar.
And I've played at other times with me playing the guitar and somebody else on guzheng, or someone else playing the zhongran, and mixed with the guitar. So if you take the Chinese instruments, the Chinese music, the Western instruments, the Western music, they all stand on their own.
But don't
and
you
when
wanna,
you put them together,
yeah, but don't you want to see the original, you know,
sure, but
flavor
there's
of
not a
Chinese
reason
music?
not to be able to create something
That's true,
new
though.
by melding them together. I'm not saying destroying either one. I'm talking about developing something in addition,
And
so that all of the original things, the original aspects of culture can continue and remain and have a life of their own and a history of their own. But at the same time, just as in science, just as in technology, things are constantly growing and developing into new things. There's no reason that music can't similarly develop. And that doesn't mean just by developing new instruments, but it means combining instruments, combining languages, combining melodies in ways that they've never been combined before.
Okay, but talking about this new development of Chinese music, there is some new development. I mean, we sometimes we do see, as you say, traditional music being played in a new way because there is a new band.
For example, 二胡 originally we play or sit down, right? You saw me sit down, and sometimes we can play stand up.
Okay.
I can play.
That means you can move around.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. But how important is that to stand up and playing?
More beautiful.
More beautiful.
Well, the other aspect is you can deal with movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movement is often an important added dimension within within music.
Yeah,
So because if everyone's here and sitting down, there's a certain steadiness, and the audience can react differently when the musicians
As you can
are moving.
see, actually, you are standing,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
playing
Very
erhu.
good.
Right. Actually, not long ago, or the year before, I went with a group to the United States, and together with us, there was a duo, and they were singing, as you said, the music from these ethnic groups, the ethnic music, in their original way, unpolished way.
Yeah.
And it was extremely popular.
Right.
It was extremely welcomed, actually,
Sure.
by the local viewers.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And people want to see something like that.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, as we are now coming to the end of this show, shall we just play music together?
We have original.
I know I'm not a
Chinese
professional
folk
one, but I
music.
guess I can also join you in a certain way, and this I can do.
First song is Clouds Chasing the Moon.
You go ahead.
Ah. 我 do have a new folk Chinese song.
Okay, go ahead.
我爱北京天的。
Okay.
我爱北京天的门前南去太阳上，伟大领袖毛主席寂寞面向，